Green flag in the air. We're underway with the 2010 season. Bobby Gerhart, he will win his 6th Super Speedway race from Daytona International Speedway. Armstrong gets his first ever win in the ARCA Racing Series.
Craig Ghost climbs out of his car for his first victory in the ARCA Remax Series.
Mikey Kyle making 6 different first-time winners. Now it's Tom Hessert's turn.
Checker flag in the air. Got us another first-time winner.
Rob Brent becomes the 9th grandson of Richard Childress. Ty Dillon is going to go to victory lane.
12th different first-time winner this year.
Boy, going to Rockingham, that's going to be exciting.
Patrick Shelton will win his first ever championship in racing. What an amazing season it was a year ago. How about the stops we're going to make this year?
Yeah, this is our speed schedule right here. But the nice thing about this series, probably the one of the most versatile series in all the world. You've got these great races that we're going to have on TV. Then you've got some great short tracks like Salem, Indiana, Winchester Speedway, Berlin Raceway, Madison Speedway, the newly named Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis, as well as a road course in New Jersey, and let's throw a couple dirt track races in DW, DeCoin and Springfield.
That's the most fun these guys have when they go those dirt track races. Sliding that baby around that mile of dirt.
Pretty amazing. They have to run from the super speedways, the 2.66 mile Talladega Super Speedway, and then you see them running at tracks like DeCoin and Springfield on dirt. Right now, though, they want to conquer Daytona International Speedway. How about Milka Duno?
What a great job. We've seen her miss a couple accidents, but she's been running up in the top 10 and top 15. She's with a great team. This is our same team that won the championship, Shelter Motorsports. Patrick Shelter, our champion from 2010, is actually down on the pit box helping Milka. They're hoping to run this deal full-time next year. They're in negotiations now to run full-time this year, excuse me.
Well, isn't it amazing how much better driver you are when you have a good car? A really fast car? Man.
Well, she's done a spectacular job behind the wheel of that 63.
She has today. I'll tell you, she has dodged some wrecks.
Field moving around once again. You see 9-time series champion, the 44 of Frank Kimmel back there. This is a field where they still line the lap down cars on the bottom of the racetrack and the lead lap cars on the top. And so that is why we saw a couple cars down to the bottom of the track on the inside of Bobby Gerhart.
We still have 31 cars remaining on the lead lap here with 30 laps to go.
Boy, what you got to worry about now is if that 5 car does run out of gas, and as tight as these guys are running, whoa, hope it doesn't just quit all at once.
Green flag back in the air. Bobby Gerhart in front of Chris Buescher as they work their way through the tri-oval and into turn number 1.
Great restart. You don't want to get too far out in front because that car behind you will have so much more momentum. But I think right now the 17, as we've talked about, Chris Buescher knows that he's just going to follow on the tire tracks as much as he can of that 5 car of Bobby Gerhart.
I don't believe that's going to happen. I believe they're going to come down that back, and they're going to have such a head of steam on Gerhart that they may want to dive out, but looks like that's not going to happen. That's kind of what I would have been thinking, but everybody's content to follow along.
That was the time when they were going to have the most momentum that they probably were going to have.
Yeah, but you know, it's always a good indication of horsepower on a restart. If you got a lot of horsepower, you can pull off and leave the other guys, and that's a good indication of how much horsepower you've got.
Once again, we see Bobby Gerhart move up the racetrack. He's not right on that yellow line. He stays about a half a car length off of the yellow line. At some point in time, the guys behind him have got to say, he's won it 6 times. We've got to work together to beat him.
I think that's making me really nervous, leaving that bottom that far open, particularly when you got a young guy behind you that, you know, sooner or later he's going to say, I've got to go.
See Bobby now right down next to the yellow line, but as he moves into the corner, you see him move up just a little bit. And if the 17 of Chris Buescher stays down on the bottom a little bit lower, you see him right now with his left front corner just stuck out there. Well, that will not allow him to run as fast as if he was tucked right in his tire tracks. And that's why we may be seeing the gap between these cars closing up as we go along.
Chris Buescher, another one of the 18-year-olds in the field, trying to take on Bobby Gerhart, a 52-year-old out front.
Well, a lot of times your car dictates you know, where you have to go. Sometimes the car is a little bit tight, and so rather than really crank wheel into it and slow it down, you let it run up the hill just a little bit. But not sure that's the right strategy right now.
Well, they've got 27 laps to think about strategy.
I just think some of these guys back here sooner or later are going to say, we have got to make a move. And particularly if they know it, and I'm sure they do, that the 17 is in the same boat that the 5 is on fuel. They came down pit road together.
Joey Licata right now running third. He came in a couple laps later. He came in and put fuel on lap number 7. Then you go back to Matt Merrill, Ricky Carmichael, Jason Bowles all put fuel in on lap number 19. So we feel reasonably sure that those guys can make it, but we're not sure about the first 3.
That Mike's hard to.
Oh, it looks like might be a soft tire there when you see a car sparking like that.
It's Miguel Paludo in the 28. Terry Cook actually spotting for him, doing some driver mentoring for Miguel Paludo.
And we'll do that all year long. This is a combination between Red Horse Racing, the truck owner for Miguel Paludo, and Venturini Motorsports. So you got a good line forming up on the outside. Now Ty Dillon is going to jump to the inside. You see the 25 of Steve Arpin there. They left him up high and moved back down to the inside.
Left him out to dry. Now the 66 moves out there in front. That's Mark Thompson.
Those are 3 Venturini cars. The 66 of Mark Thompson, Hal Martin in the 55, and Steve Arpin in the 25 right now, all hooked up together with the 41 of Ty Dillon and the other RCR car of Tim George Jr. right behind him.
There just doesn't seem to be anybody that can get to the outside and make any passes. They get out there and they just stall out. As good as the 41 is, and even Kimmel in the 44, they just can't go anywhere when they go up high.
This is not the old Daytona right now.
Ooh, that's
we're starting
edgy,
the bump draft.
Edgy right there.
Matt Merrill in the 32 getting right up on the back bumper of that 77.
Last year these guys would be getting out of the throttle, Darrell, even with this draft because of the rough racetrack and the less amount of grip in the corners. But now they're running wide open all the way around, and obviously the guys on the inside are doing it the short way.
The cars are more stable in the corners with the downforce and the banking than they are actually down the straightaway.
Lead pack working their way down the backstretch now, led by Bobby Gerhardt. Oh, problems in the 10. That is Ed Pampa.
Cautions out, yellow.
It's going to be another big break there for Billy Gerhardt.
Billy Gerhardt's going to say, okay, that might help.
Might just take a sip of my drink now.
Ed Pampa in the 10. In turn number 2, got into the wall. Jim Treda, what happened?
I heard a loud boom, guys. I think one of the tires blew. There was fender damage by the time the car was sideways skating across here in the front stretch tri-oval, and then Pampa backed it in the wall just a bit, but he had a long slide starting, I believe, with a blown tire.
See a lot of debris. Field trying to avoid that. Obviously, they don't want to drive through any pieces of sheet metal.
You can see back there all the rubber off the tire, so it definitely blew a tire.
Oh yeah, right as he
coming into the trial. Tire just explodes, and that tears the right rear quarter panel completely off the race car. And you know, he's not cheering because Ed Pampa had an accident. He's cheering because he needed a caution.
Yep, one man's bad luck is another man's good luck.
So Bobby Gerhardt getting that much closer to his 7th win at Daytona International Speedway. Stay with us here on Speed Motorsports Authority. Download the free Speed app for your iPhone. Keep Speed at your fingertips and fuel your passion for racing between events with Speed on your iPhone. Get the latest stats, results, and news as soon as they become available. Download the app from iTunes now. Steve Arpin in the Mike's Hard Lemonade. Number 25. It's Mary-Eve DeVoe. 55 of Hal Martin carrying one of our cameras as well. And Bobby Gerhardt out in front. We saw him do a little celebration, obviously, when Ed Pampa had a problem with the tire, but that wasn't for the accident. That was because they just needed some laps under caution fuel-wise.
When the laps run down, the heart rate goes up. And right now, they're getting ready to start pumping.
Stay with us. The heart rate is definitely going to go up. Tonight, NASCAR Race Day kicks off in Daytona. It's John, Kenny, Kyle, Wendy, and Hermie. They're going to give you the ultimate setup as NASCAR's biggest stars prepare to battle under the lights in the Budweiser Shootout. NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot from Daytona tonight. That's 6:30 Eastern, live right here on Speed. The cars getting staged in the garage area.
How about that pole sitter there on the right side of your screen?
Yeah, Dale Jr.'s on. I mean, is that an omen? I mean, you know, it's karma. When things go good for you, and I believe things are really got. I love Dale Jr. and Steve Letarte working together. I believe it's going to be a great combination. He's starting up front tonight. I'd say look out for that 88 car.
Now, you won that shootout from the pole, didn't you?
1981, I started second.
Second, front row, anyway.
Let's head back trackside to Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. You know, I wanted to talk a little bit about Frank Kimmel. Darrell was talking earlier about all the accomplishments that he's had in this series. Look at the victories of all the drivers in this series today, how many wins they have. Of course, a number of these young drivers at the bottom of the list have only been competing for a couple of years, but 74 wins for Frank Kimmel. His last victory came at Salem in 2008. And guess what, guys? You know how many races it's been since he won? 44. That's the number on the side of his car, and Frank said maybe that's the good omen for him today to finally get a win here at Daytona. Jim?
Well, Ray, two drivers looking for their first victory in the ARCA Racing Series are Ricky Carmichael, and just ahead of him is the machine of the 32 of Matt Merrill. They both are on a strategy where they got fuel. They got fuel only on lap 19, so they've got that advantage on the three cars ahead of them. The strategy is this. The 32 is being spotted on the backstretch by team owner Kevin Sawinski. He talked to his driver about how to pack the air in front of him and move to make a move on the 77, so we'll keep an eye on that. Also, for Ricky Carmichael, they did a chassis adjustment back on that pit stop a long time ago. They're both without tires, but both in a position now. If the fuel does run low for those top three, the 32 and the 4 look mighty strong.
Thanks, Jim. One more time around, and the green flag will fly, and we'll be right here for it. Stay with us.